Welcome to Melt. I'm Suresh Venkat. Today we're at the headquarters of one of India's big legacy brands, TTK Prestige. Most famous for its pressure cookers, the consumer durables brand has diversified into several kitchen and home appliances. To know more, we are in conversation today with Chandru Kalro, the managing director of TTK Prestige. What does it take to keep a legacy brand relevant in today's times? Let's find out as we get ready to melt with Chandru Kalro. So, Chandru, let's start with the first question. What does it mean to be the custodian of a nearly 70-year-old brand?
Big responsibility, to put it mildly. When I joined, it's 30 years since I joined TTK Prestige. It used to be TT Limited when I joined. We were a single product company and just pressure cookers, actually just aluminium pressure cookers. We didn't even have stainless steel pressure cookers. But what struck me when I joined was how under-leveraged the brand was. Because, the turnovers we were doing was nowhere justifying the kind of brand recall that this brand had. You go anywhere, the iconic "Jo Biwi Se Kare Pyar" will almost happen immediately the moment you say, "I'm coming from
Prestige means pressure cooker.
Pressure cookers." That was it. But that's where the challenge started, and that's where the excitement started. Because there's so much more you could do with this brand, which you almost immediately strikes you. I joined as a product manager. I was not in the management, so to speak. I was a product manager who had to merely execute plans. But the company allowed me to do so many things, which is why the brand and me are so close. And the fact that it is iconic today, maybe in these 30 years, I've also played a small role in, making it where it is. But the brand is amazingly powerful.
Okay, Chandru, you joined 30 years ago. So pressure cookers 30 years ago, pressure cookers today. What are some of the innovations that Prestige has brought to the fore?
Lots of stuff. In fact, one thing I'll say with a lot of pride is that almost every single safety feature you see in the pressure cooker in the last 40 years has been from TTK Prestige. Starting with the gasket release system. Initially, pressure cookers came with a safety plug and a pressure regulator. That's it. Then we had the gasket release system, then we had the gasket offset device, then we had the lock. Unless you lock the pressure cooker, it will not build pressure. All of those things came from TTK Prestige. So what you see today is a far more safer product and a far more, let's say a user-friendly product. Even if you look at something like a pressure indicator, I don't know whether you've cooked with a pressure cooker.
I started cooking in the lockdown, so I know a little bit about pressure cookers.
One thing that you would have noticed is always you don't know whether it's building pressure, so you keep lifting that weight and seeing whether it is building pressure. Or after you've switched it off, whether the pressure is gone. So, you again lift the weight. We have a pressure indicator. It's very simple. So there are a lot of such things that we've done. You take the clip-on pressure cooker, it's a completely different user interface. So you can now close it in any direction. Otherwise, you had to align the lid and the body in a particular way and do it. So it's changed. It's changed.
And when you say Prestige invented these innovations, are you saying that the other brands have adopted these innovations as well?
Some have been copied, some we patented, some we deliberately didn't patent. For example, gasket release system, we deliberately didn't patent.
You wanted everybody else.
We wanted everyone to have it because we believed that that was good for the customer and for the category. Okay. There are some that we've patented. For example, the latest Swatch pressure cooker, which is to control spillage down, which we thought was a major issue, which customer never articulated it that way. We patented it. We said that should be an advantage which Prestige must offer you. In fact, we very recently won an injunction against a copycat on that one.
And Chandru, we are sitting in the Experience Center in Bangalore, and I see the company's gone well beyond pressure cookers. You're also the leader in kitchen appliances and small appliances. Right. Tell us about this foray. What prompted this foray into those products?
When I joined, we were 72 crores, and in 2000, we were about 100 crores. Virtually no growth. And again, as I came back to the first point I made, the brand was far more powerful than what we were actually selling. And we did a research, it extends into various parts of the kitchen at least. We didn't say home by then, but we said at least kitchen. And we said there's so much more we can do for the kitchen. And then we went into gas stoves and mixer grinders to begin with. And we did that with one simple philosophy, that if we are getting into a category, we must add value to that category. So, for example, when we got into gas stoves, we did small things like, when you lift a gas stove to clean, which is something that every housewife does every every day, we found that gas stoves actually cut the
Yeah,
fingers
they
of
do
the
because the underside is sharp.
underside of sharp. We just did a rounded edge so that it never happens. We found that people use these small pans to do tadka
Or 1 cup coffee.
or
Yeah.
1 cup coffee,
Yeah.
and we found that it wouldn't stand on the pan support. So we did 3 pins on the burner so that it would stand on the. So we did these small things, but we said, at least philosophically, we must add value to that category or we don't get in. And the moment we put that pressure on ourselves, innovation became key. And that's what has driven us. How do I actually solve some kind of pain point, make that happen? And I think the customer appreciates. In their own way, they feel that, someone's listening or someone is observing and someone is, doing something for them. And we don't want to call them features. We want to call them solutions. Because if I become gimmicky, they see through you.
And some of these are not articulated by customers exactly as they
No,
need it.
they're
They just
never-
feel the pain, but they don't know how to tell you.
Correct.
Which brings me to the next leg of marketing. How do you listen to what customers are not telling you?
So what we do is we have conversations like this, where we sit together and we talk to them about life, their average day, what's bothering them, what's making them happy. Innocuous questions about their life, their lifestyle, without prying too much into it, asking them what would make them happy. Now, typically, I'll give you some examples. Typically, they would say, I wish I could spend half an hour more with my child in the evening so that I sit with her when she's studying.
Mhm.
But what we read from that conversation is, she's telling me if I got 30 minutes from my normal chores, I would be happy. So then we said, can we make time-saving devices? Can we make something that can pull her out of the kitchen while she is still discharging her responsibilities in the kitchen so that she can do something she really wants to do? These are the kind of conversations we have and convert them into product ideas.
Okay. The cooker that measures its own whistles, for instance, could be an
Yeah,
example of a
Exactly.
time-saving device. Okay, let's talk about your retail strategy, Chandru. You were known for your hundreds of retail touchpoints, and how has e-commerce changed your retail strategy?
It's kind of waking us up, to be honest, because customer walk-ins into physical stores are not exactly growing the way they used to 15 years back.
Mhm.
And shopping habits have changed, and irreversibly so. But then that also brings a big opportunity for us. Today, we treat every walk-in like they're gold so that we give them very good experience. The second thing is we want to say that irrespective of whether you walk in or not, we want to be connected. So what we have done in the last 5-6 months is actually put together an omni-channel strategy, which means that you can come to my website, order something, and while any other platform might give it to you in 12 hours or 24 hours, I might give it to you in 2 hours. Because I could then pass this order to a store who would then physically come to your home
And give it to you.
and give it to you, give you a card saying, I'm just here. In case you need something, please feel free to walk in.
So it's a hybrid shopping experience. It's
Exactly.
not only digital, it's not
It's
only
not-
online, it's not in store.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That's the opportunity this is provided to us.
And you find that this sort of human interface is extremely important in your product categories?
I think so. I mean, think about it. We all order everything online, apart from going offline, of course. But what do you miss? You miss that human interaction when you're doing it online.
Mhm.
The best you can get in touch with is a call center.
Yeah, and we all hate calling
And
call
we
centers.
hate
We want to call a human being straight.
Exactly.
Ramesh from the store, you promised me you'll stand by me.
Correct.
Where are you today?
Correct.
Right?
Correct. And that's what this gives us an opportunity to do.
Chandru, there are a whole host of startups entering your segments in the kitchen, in the home. Does this trend worry you? Does it give you a wake-up call? How do you respond to this threat of startups trying to disrupt you?
It keeps us really on our toes. And what you see with these startups is very young energy, very
And
vibrant.
incredibly funded, no profit motive.
Exactly.
I don't want to call you a legacy brand, but you are a legacy brand.
We are a legacy brand.
That name tag doesn't bother you that you're a legacy brand?
No, it doesn't bother me. To me, a legacy is also respect.
Okay.
Somebody else is trying to impress you with something. But, for me, fundamentally, I mean, if I take a step back, we believe in creating value and not valuations. That is something that we have always believed.
How do you compete with these guys? Are massively funded and valuation chasing and
We
competing
just
with
let
you?
them do their bit.
Okay.
And in our industry, at least, where we have been so close to the customer knows how to evaluate who's doing what.
Okay.
And I think we will stand the test of time as we go along.
Let's now talk about advertising. You've used Vidya Balan for quite a while as your brand ambassador. My question to you is this: how do you measure the effectiveness of a brand ambassador?
Again, we do some studies saying that brand recall studies, ad recall studies, what do you do, etc., etc. We took Vidya because I think she as a person very much reflects TTK
Values of-
Prestige values. And somebody who's also pan-Indian, somebody who's a South Indian, but who
Made it
is
big in the
made it big in Bollywood. So for us, she was an ideal fit, and she stood for very different roles, innovative portrayals. So that's why we picked her. And we found the association quite good. I think we have not used her as much as we should have. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Vidya may be watching the show, so
I think we should have, and she's never said no to anything. To be fair to her, she said, tell me what I can do for you, and I'm more than happy to do it for you. COVID actually didn't allow us to do as much as we would have wanted to do. But I think you will see us do something more as we go along.
And as a brand, you use print quite a lot. We don't see too many brands using print these days, but you're one of the big brands. So what does print do for your brand?
So we use print in two scenarios. One is when we're doing a promotion, because there's a call to action, which is where print almost always scores. The second one is when we're doing something which needs a lot of product detailing, which television in its 20, 30 seconds doesn't allow you to do.
Okay.
So that's where we use print. Or if we are having a very sharp focused product launch,
Okay.
Which means that I'm only wanting to do it in these geographies, then I kind of do that. But of course, now between print and digital, I think we are always torn between these two, and we try and...
So tell us about your digital strategy. Under what circumstances would you use digital, and how would you use digital?
So we're using digital in different places. One, which I think almost everyone is doing, to be honest. One is, of course, the search. Search is something...
Consideration,
awareness, and being engaged with you. So there's a lot of social media which we've done. Last year, in fact, we won a couple of awards on our things that we wanted to communicate, which is, about respecting everyone. Cooking has no gender, for example, was another hashtag that we started, which I thought was resonating a lot with women, because
especially important in the lockdown, when women are under tremendous pressure to work and run the household.
Exactly. So these are things that where digital, almost immediately resonates, and social media is very powerful today.
And marketers are divided on this whole performance versus brand on digital. Where do you stand on this debate? Is all advertising performance advertising?
No, you will have to have a bit of everything, I think. Okay. It's about where you want more of it. And I think I am personally of the view that brand and digital are a very good combination. And it allows you to do things which normal conventional media may not allow you.
Okay.
For example, in our business, cooking and food and the product can be a lot more holistically used than a 20-second ad, so.
Chandru, gender roles have changed quite a bit in the 30 years that you have been in the company. And for instance, your tagline that used to say, "Jo biwi se kare pyar," now says, "Jo apno se kare pyar." How do you see the future of gender roles changing from here onwards?
I think as women are becoming breadwinners, homemaking will not be one person's responsibility and should not be. I personally cook. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to actually evaluate a product. And I believe cooking is a beautiful expression of love. I mean, the line, "Jo biwi se kare pyar," which is now morphed into "Jo apno se kare pyar," there is a lot of love when you put food on the table.
There is.
And I think the fact that we are saying cooking has no gender is trying to take people in that direction. We actually did that survey from Times of India, where only 6% of Indian men cook. Now, that I think is a potentially transformatory opportunity for a brand like us. And we would like to be part of that journey.
How does that impact your marketing decisions vis-a-vis positioning your products for men?
We are therefore now saying that all our communication, we will talk to both men and women. That is number one. Second, we are now trying to say, do things that are more helpful to men to make their journey in the kitchen more easier.
Mhm.
See, because women know how to roll a chapati, for example. They know how to knead a dough for a chapati or do things. Can we help the man do it easier?
Mhm.
So that he can then say, okay, I'll take care of this and you take care of this, which is the way it should be.
We see a lot of digital film work that we see. How important are out of home and TV to your strategy?
So out of home, we've not done much, to be honest. I think TV we do a lot, and we will continue to do a lot because that is a medium that is first, I think, in terms of a cost per contact, quite productive,
Mhm.
and also it is the reach is very good. So for us, we would like to do a lot of TV. Print we use more tactically, and digital we are using from a brand and search perspective because customer is searching online. Whether they're buying online or not, they're definitely searching online. So that is broadly the strategy that we are using.
Okay. And is pressure cooker buying, home appliance buying still a festive occasion in India?
Not
Or is
at
it now
all.
spread through the year?
It is spread through the year. I mean, every research that we see, the spike in the festival is a very small spike now.
Okay.
No longer are our price points such that you have to make it a planned purchase.
Correct.
Also, the fact that today credit card and all these things are available easily. I mean, when I started work, for example, buying durables was a planned purchase. Festival,
The whole family would get involved
get
in a
involved.
single durable.
Correct. Now it's not like that. Go swipe your card.
So, what are the secrets to keeping a brand alive through the year? A brand like Prestige.
Either we are doing something or some of our core channel partners are doing something and we partner with them. So somehow we will find a way to be, talking to you right through the year. That's the general idea.
How important is the line "Made with Pride in India" to your marketing
Oh, that's
strategy?
something we are very proud of. Actually, we
Not just made in India, made with pride in India.
yes, made with pride in India, and we said that because we felt that. When we said we will stop trading in goods completely made out of China, it came from the heart. And it also resonated with what I guess the Prime Minister has been saying about Make in India. I mean, I think India has the potential. And believe me, when we started this, people were saying that, will you be able to compete with the kind of pricing that Chinese have? Believe me, we were able to make it cheaper. We maybe don't have the scale, but I think once we get there, India is very capable of doing everything. We were being lazy. And when we went and got out of that lazy syndrome of just trading versus making and then selling, that line came almost immediately. And there was somewhere, I think, even the customer resonated with that when they saw that. And the biggest endorsement was when other brands started writing the same thing.
Made with pride in India. Now, one of the reasons I asked you about being a legacy brand is because legacy brands are not known to be the sharpest when it comes to adoption of new technologies. Now, you talked about using digital to drive consideration and discovery and purchase. But some of your products are also using digital in themselves. They're becoming smarter, aren't they?
Yes.
You have IoT-enabled devices,
Yes.
for instance. Tell us about how easy or hard it is to get a legacy company to adopt new technology in the product.
It's a beautiful combination. I'll tell you why. By being legacy, we know the customer. We know the customer because of all the things that I told you that we do. But we are also very clear that in our space, the customer is not going to take something because there is technology, because it is gimmicky, because it is feature, I can use my mobile phone. No. You have to solve a problem. And to solve that problem, you have to recognize that problem. We recognize that problem because of being a legacy brand. We are able to put in technology because we have a basic innovation streak. And we are ready to try everything. We are ready to fail. Before we put out a product into the market, there's a lot of validation. If you come home to my house, it's got all the beta products before they get.
You are the beta tester.
I am the beta customer. My wife is the beta customer. I am the beta customer. But by the time it goes to the market, we would have tested all those things and then, sent it out. That a legacy plus technology only can happen, and not just technology. With technology, you'll get a robot.
Now, speaking of legacy, you've had this tagline for how many years now? This version of the tagline. I know it's changed now.
When I joined, it was "Jo Biwi se kare pyar." In 2000, when we started our foray into appliances and we went into this innovation and all that, we said, "Are you ready for a smarter kitchen?" But Suresh, I think you would not even remember that line.
Correct. This line resonates.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you. When you work with agencies, they like changing lines, they like newness,
Yeah.
they like innovation. How do you get an agency to respect the legacy of a legacy brand? And is there a challenge to work with agencies?
The agency which we changed the line to "Are you ready for
Because
a smarter kitchen?"
They want to do something
They
new.
wanted to do something new, and it resonated with what we
At that
also
time.
wanted to do. But they themselves suggested bringing back "Jo Biwi Se Kare Pyar." The reason being, time had changed. See, "Jo Biwi Se Kare Pyar," at the time we changed it, also had to be changed because we were going beyond pressure cookers, beyond safety. And also, the Biwi was no longer waiting for the husband to give things to her.
Correct.
I mean, things had changed socially.
Gender norms had changed, society had
exactly.
changed. Yeah.
So when we brought it back, we had to bring it back in the appropriate context of then, which was the husband loves his wife, so he helps her cook and he helps her in the kitchen. It came from there.
Okay.
And that's why Abhishek and Aishwarya came to relaunch that line at that
As
point in
equals
time,
in a
as
marriage.
equals in a marriage.
Okay. So, Chandru, what can we expect from Prestige in the years to come?
More innovation.
Mhm.
What we want to do now is to build much more touch points. We are now saying that a customer's life with us is pre-purchase, purchase, usage, so that and repurchase.
Mhm.
Right through, you will see TTK Prestige doing things that will engage with the customer continuously, because we believe that our entire game can only be sustainable if I'm able to retain my existing customer. Getting a new customer, fine, I will acquire new customers. But for me, the present set of customers,
Retaining them is a big challenge.
that's a big challenge. And I think that is my duty.
Okay. Chandru, final question for you, and it's semi-serious. What happens when robots take over all the ironing, the vacuuming, the cleaning, and the cooking? What will Prestige do then?
No, they'll never take care of the cooking.
They won't?
They won't do the cooking. The reason is, when you put food on the table, there has to be
The human touch?
the human touch. I'll tell you one simple thing. I remember when I launched the atta kneader on a mixer grinder the first time.
Mhm.
And I was standing in my store in Coimbatore, and there was this lady who would come buying something else, and I showed this product to her. And she told me in Tamil, unless my hands go into the
Atta.
wheat and knead it, I don't believe I'm serving food to my family.
Mhm. Even an atta kneader.
Even an atta kneader.
Okay.
And that's India for you.
Chandru Kalro of TTK Prestige, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you
at Melt.
so much.
And with that, it's a wrap on this episode. You can follow Melt on social media. The handle is Ready to Melt, or simply log on to readytomelt.com. If you'd like to follow me, I'm @Suvenk on Twitter. Till next week, goodbye and thanks for watching.